Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. Today we are going to be reviewing a 4K HDR dash cam for vehicles. This is the 70 MAI or 70 MI. We're going to unbox it here and then actually go through the setup in my vehicle, mount it up in my truck or something, and do some nighttime video, some daytime video, and just kind of show you how this thing actually works. All right, first thing we want to do is break into the packaging. Let's bust into the main box first, and then we'll check out the accessories. Bunch of stuff here on one side, and then it looks like this is an instruction booklet. And here is the camera. Looks like it's got a screen protector on it right now. Interesting layout. And here is another camera, and that's all there is in the box there. Cool, so you can move this camera around, it looks like. Point it wherever you want. It's got a pretty wide angle lens here. Micro SD card slot, DC in, USB-C, and an AV port right there. Button 1 through 4, and then that's our power right there. And a little bit of cooling with that LED light on the bottom as well. So let's get this screen protector off here. And here's the other camera. Put this camera anywhere we want, usually in the back or something. Has like a backup camera, but that thing is really light. Just got some cooling here. A little sticky pad here we can peel off and stick wherever we want. And that little cord looks to be about a 4-pin directional cord. So we're going to be plugging that into an extension cord. Let's see what else we get in the package. That's just for a lighter adapter there to power it. We have the mounting bracket that's going to clip right on the back here. That just slides in, clips on, and then we can take that sticky pad off and mount it wherever we want. So a tool, just a plastic little wedge. And what's in here? Looks like a pretty lengthy extension cord to get you all the way through your vehicle. 4-pin connector here that we saw on this little camera right here. And then that's the connector that we're going to plug into the AV output right there. One more bag, and that's just going to be our USB power source. Again, a very long cable to go the length of your car if you need it to. Last but not least, guys, we have one more accessory box. Hardware kit user manual there. So it looks like this is the hardware kit to maybe wire it in if you don't want to have to plug into your lighter adapter. One end with the USB-C, and we have that same kind of long length to go across the vehicle. If you do want to just hardwire it into your car so the camera's still running when we're off. You know how lighter adapters normally turn off when you turn the key all the way off. So this really isn't going to work for 24-hour surveillance. Turn your key off and this powers off. Your camera is going to power off. Basically, it looks like it's kind of meant to possibly be mounted up on your window like this. Of course, this thing does swivel. So perhaps if you did want to mount it on your dash, there is a way to do that, like mount it here. And then hopefully maybe we can flip this screen. We're going to figure all that out. Let's go ahead and get out to the truck and see how this thing installs. Let's see what we got here. It's not touchscreen, so you got to press these buttons. Green means recording, blue standby, and red is error. And that's this one right here. So it looks like it will power up when you do have power supplied to it automatically, but if you did want to power it off yourself, you can hold that in, or you can turn the screen off and on with that button as well. System time, so this is where you're going to set your time and date. Please format memory card. Okay. Formatting. There we go. Formatting successful. So I put in a 256 gigabyte in there. Oh wow, it even has built-in wireless, so that's why you need to download that app, and so you can wirelessly connect to this and download your videos and stuff when you need to. So that's pretty awesome. Audio recording off and on here. I'm going to go into settings because it's warning me that we do not have the date set correctly. Wi-Fi hotspot, so this is where we want to turn on if we're going to be, connecting with our phone. And there it is. So you've got default password 1 through 8, and you're looking for the 70 MI A810 209C. It looks like we can connect directly to it. So there it is, 70 MI. And remember, the default password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Go ahead and connect. Remember, we have to download the app. Probably should have done that before I connected, because now my Wi-Fi is connected to the camera. So You see how it's not going to do anything. So I need to go back onto my home Wi-Fi, download the app first. It's got a little bear head on it. Oh, that was interesting. Recording emergency video. So while I was downloading the app, I just went ahead and tilted the camera. And it looks like it has a sensor in here. So when you slam on the brakes, it immediately will start to record when it detects motion. Okay, guys, so we're going to open the app up. So just like everything, you got to sign up. I kind of just want to use my Google account here. Just your typical sign in stuff, guys. I know it's kind of boring, but connect to the Wi-Fi. But let's just see if it kind of does it in here automatically if we go through it. All right, you have to connect the GPS. We have dash cam with screen. Connect it to the camera since the camera hotspot is on. And it should have saved my password. And let's see if it does it. Okay, of course you got to do the precision there. So a little bit confusing, but it looks like it's connecting, as you know, just had to go through the setup. So main thing is register and start the setup on your phone when your phone is connected to internet, and then switch over your internet to this Wi-Fi hotspot that the camera's putting out, and then just add the device. Please make sure it's near your mobile phone. There it is. So it found it, and I'm just clicking on it. Click the power button to authorize. Okay. All right. Well, let's try the power button because it said power button on the phone. That's odd. So it looks like it's trying to register through the internet. So this is the conundrum, right? You have to keep connecting and disconnecting. So that's a little bit strange. Power button to authorize. So that's a little misleading. It's supposed to be the check mark. There you go. So yeah, so since I was connected to the dash cam, so they should put up, you know, disconnect your dash cam, connect back to your data connection Wi-Fi, but they don't do that. Congratulations, added successfully. Connect to the dash cam hotspot. Okay. Now it's not connected because remember I'm back on my home Wi-Fi, so I have to go back over here and connect back to the camera. Just all this rigmarole. All right. Mobile phone app is connected. Recording continues. Okay. The device does not support power button or voice control when app is visiting. Okay. So when the app is on, I guess. For placement or whatever, you can kind of see a somewhat live view, although it's delayed, of the camera. Pretty much the only thing you'd really want to be doing with this is just entering the album and downloading videos, right? So it's stopping recording, accessing the album, and so there you go. So there's the videos. If we click on a video, say we get in an accident, we need to provide this to the police. There's all the videos it took. Click on one. All right, it'll play it. And that's where we can download right here. So there you go. So you get in an accident, download this here to your phone, and you can email that to the police. I think that's the main reason you're going to be accessing this application. Timestamp all the way across the bottom. I have kilometer per hour, and I have the GPS coordinates down here on the bottom right too. So that's pretty convenient. So that was all videos, and then the emergency videos, guys. So that's when it thinks it crashed because of motion. So at least it categorizes them. Then if you have the rear camera connected, you can also do the same for that. And let's do that real quick. So remember, we got this rear camera in the box. We got to connect it to its long USB cable because people are going to want to put this all the way on the other side of their vehicle. I'm just going to set the camera here for now, and then we'll put it where we want later. And connecting with this small port right in here. Said we have to go into the options once we connect this. So we're going to go all the way back. Okay, go into settings. All right, so here's all the settings. We have a lot of settings here. It looks like it is in 4K by default, 16 by 9. And then you can select 1080, 30, or 60 frames per second. Doesn't say what the 4K frames per second is, but I'd imagine it's probably less than 30. HDR is enabled, so that'll give you a clearer recording, right? It'll make everything brighter so it's visible, which we want to leave on. Speed, longitude, and latitude, we want to leave those on for, you know, police reasons if we get in a wreck. Parking security, collision detection, Recording is triggered once collision occurs. So it looks like you're going to have a constant power on for that to work. Time lapse, you can adjust your motion detection. That's cool. So you have a whole slew of options here, guys. Crazy amount of options. I want to change my speed to miles per hour. What I'm not seeing on this, guys, is any way to tell it that I have that camera connected. So I'm going to disconnect. And it just said backup camera is connected, so it just detected it. So let's go into the settings and make sure that that's in there. So it looks like we can adjust most of the settings on the actual device too. If I go into video settings as well, we can do all the same kinds of things, right? With just the hardware buttons. So let's go ahead and reconnect this bad boy. And there we go. So now it should detect the backup camera. Press this button now. Okay, cool. Extended camera. So now it's showing me a picture of this camera, guys. See that? So now I'm seeing footage of this camera right here. So that other external camera does work. Use that as a backup camera or whatever you want. And you can switch them right here. That's pretty amazing through the app. Wow, there's even a timeline too. Pretty advanced software for a little dash cam. Let's go into the album. All videos. And remember, now the rear view is showing up there. So here is the rear view recording. And you can switch your screens just by pressing this left button. So pretty cool, guys. Lots of options here. I am going to mount this thing. It comes with a little like static clear pad that you got to mount on your window first. We've kind of explored the whole unit here. We have explored the entire app here. You can do quite a bit of stuff, more than I've ever seen. The last thing we got to do is mount this up, take it for a test spin in the daytime and at nighttime, and see how that video looks. So the electrostatic sticker. So I decided to mount it right around here. So you got to put this film on. This is where we're going to peel off this sticker here. Right there. So I think that's a pretty good position. And then remember, you can rotate the camera. And to be honest, that didn't work. So I don't know, this film didn't work for me. It just like came right off the windshield. I think I'm just gonna have to stick it directly on. There we go. So that's where my camera's gonna live. Electrostatic film thing did not work for me. It just came right off. So I wanna see some of my hood, not too high up into those black dots up there. Now I just gotta figure out how to route these wires. This tool here they gave in the box, remember this thing? The headliner here, the top, there's actually a groove, and I'm just pushing this wire for the rear cam. Just making it as unseen as possible here. If you wanted to, of course, you could go the floor route. I'm just trying this top route here, see if it's gonna actually work. It seems like it's gonna work okay. Wow, guys, so this is proving to be like way easier than I thought it would be. Now your trim in your vehicle, you know, might be a little tighter. Wow, that's pretty easy. So I've got this 4 feet of cable left. I'm just gonna tuck it all back in here, kind of double it up and keep pushing it down. You can see how it just goes right down behind this. Well, you'll really never see it. I wouldn't have thought, but this tool really helps that they give you in the box. It's really all you need for my truck anyway. It's almost like I took it to a professional install shop. Nice. And if you guys were wondering how I'm doing the power wire, I'm running it up here in the headliner with this other wire around to the back camera. And I'm just going down in this panel, down here. All right, guys, the final push here. I'm just getting it behind this panel. Boom, there we go. Completely out of sight. I went all the way down behind the carpet. Up here, just completely concealed. All right, guys, so 1 hour later and not too much work. I got the camera mounted. We figured all that out. You know, a little bit loose on the headliner up here. So, you know, I could just stuff something in there, not visible, and it will just hold those cables in there. I'm just stoked that I can make it so clean, you know, just amateur job, but it looks professional. Anyway, let's go take this thing out on the road. I got some errands to run, so I'm literally just about to test this thing out on a drive. Just wanted to check the app, and actually it said I have an update. So let's go ahead and download it. Should be pretty quick. It's only 50 megabytes, and push to dash cam now. Let's see what it asked me to do. Okay, because I got it to connect wirelessly, right? I have to do it manually to connect to the dash cam again. So remember, it seems like you have to do that. It won't automatically connect like some other devices. Is it gonna work? Come on now. Loading. There we go. Push to the dash cam. All right, now we can push. Push now. Stop recording. Okay, no problem. Go ahead and push it. And update. So it looks like a pretty quick update. I did notice that some of the settings weren't sticking, like the screen turn off. Upgrade successfully. Automatically start to update when next time boots up. Do not disconnect the device power. Okay. It says it's updating, so I'm not going to touch it, not going to disconnect power. It's not that big of a package, but it's just flashing it. It reboot on its own, and it's just doing the flash, and it's successful. And then it looks like it's going to restart one more time. All right. We're back in action, guys. Let's take this thing for a spin with the update and just really see how she does. Okay, guys, welcome aboard and welcome to the drive, testing out the 70 MAI camera. This is around 2 o'clock p.m., almost 3, just picking up my daughter from school. Here's the rear view camera, nice wide view. It's a little washed out just because I have a rooftop tent on the top of my vehicle right now on the bed, but it does a pretty good job at just brightening everything up in this daylight so you can kind of see what's going on. You can see a wide angle view of all the cars around you if they're going to hit you or whatever. At least you have the recording. Here's an audio test here just to see how the audio is on the camera. Check audio test. Audio test. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Audio test.
Irish potato famine started and everyone died. That was like their only food source because it was so cheap.
Like bread and potatoes. Records audio on both files. And just so you know, the rear camera is 1080. Can't change it. The front camera is 4K. And they're both 25 frames per second. So that's basically the maximum we can get on our resolution. Here we are kind of coming into the sun a bit. You can see the sun on the top right of the screen, and it's very bright, very clear. Here we are now going in sunset, so you can see the sunset behind us. We're going to Walmart or something, and you can see the wide view behind us in sunset. Here we are pulling in, starting to get dark. So just really pay attention to the low light ability of this camera. It seems like it has great abilities when there's some kind of light, like brightening up things, but as we start to drive home, leaving the parking lot after we did our shopping, and you can see the parking lot really good because everything's lit with street lights and street lamps. And coming up here, let's see how it does. There we go. As you can see, this is the rear view camera. Very hard to see. Definitely no night vision whatsoever in this thing. You need some kind of lighting source in order for it to, pick up video. If a car didn't have its headlights on, you might have a problem at night seeing the car in the camera, but it does seem to pick up pretty good when some kind of light. So here I am driving up the last part of the road back home, and you can see how it kind of handles street lights with my headlights on. I did have to kind of clean the window a little bit just because the headlights were really blurry, so I wiped the window in front of the camera, so make sure you do that. But here we are going up the hill. You saw that back view was really dark. And here I am testing out my high intensity amber floodlights I put on the bottom of my Toyota Tacoma truck. This is a 2014 Toyota Tacoma. Floodlights, regular lights, bright lights, lights off here with just the marker lights. And you can kind of see how this camera is picking everything up. Lights off again. As long as it has a little bit of light, it seems pretty good, and it can, you can see what's going on around you. Next up, I did want to kind of test out the rear backup ability of this thing and see how it is lit in my driveway. So I just have my reverse lights on. I have a few like ground lights around the driveway, but nothing major. So you can see the reverse lights were turned off, and that's kind of how it looks with the brake lights on. So with that rooftop tent, it's definitely going to cut down my view. Once I take that off for the winter, it should be a much better view there out the rear. And you can also kind of use it as a backup camera, right? if you just press the button on the screen to turn the screen on and switch your camera, you can kind of use it as a little mini backup camera. Anyway, that's my review, and that's how this thing did, guys. Little pros and cons is it's really bad in low light if there's no light whatsoever. It's no night vision camera. If you're looking for a camera that can see in the darkness, this cannot. It has to have some kind of light. A good resolution at 25 frames per second. If you want to drop that 4K, you can get a higher frames per second if you wanted. But it seemed like the rear camera was stuck at 1080, 25 frames per second, period. You couldn't change that. Every time I start my car on, it does start up and start recording, so I don't have to touch anything. The way these things work is if you run out of memory, it'll start recording over the beginning again, right? So it's slowly erasing the beginning if it runs out. But the great thing is those emergency files will never be recorded over. So at least those get saved in a separate file. As far as the advancement of this app goes, very impressed. You can do a whole lot of things I've never seen any other dash cam do, as far as accessing, playing video, timeline, changing settings, all that stuff. But if you did want the kind of 24-hour surveillance, you're going to have to tap into your 12-volt constant power to have that type of advanced security when you're not in your car and your car's not running. For what I tested it with, very impressed. If you guys liked what you saw here, go ahead and check down in the description. I will have where you can check this cam out, check the price, and buy it if you want to. And I also hope this helped you install a dash cam. If you've never done it before, this is basically how it's going to be through all dash cams with this type of setup. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you got a lot out of this review. I sure had fun, and I'll see you in the next one.